Am I the a-hole for refusing my parents' half-hearted apologies after years of favoritism toward my sister? If there's one thing I've learned growing up, it's that favoritism doesn't have to be loud to hurt. It doesn't have to be cruel words or big gestures. Sometimes it's quiet, the little things that pile up over years until you finally realize you were never the equal child. My parents have always favored my sister Angel, 14F. They never admitted it, not even when family members called them out over and over. They'd say stuff like, "We love both our kids the same," or "You're just imagining things," whenever I brought it up. But deep down, I knew. And the thing is, it wasn't even the huge, dramatic kind of favoritism you see in movies. It was the small, constant stuff. The kind of stuff that eats away at you slowly. When I, 16M, was younger, I tried to tell myself it wasn't a big deal. Like when Angel didn't want what was for dinner, Mom would just sigh and make her something else. Chicken nuggets, pasta, mac and cheese, whatever she wanted. But if I said I didn't like dinner, I'd get the whole "then make your own food or go hungry" speech. It wasn't like I was being picky. Sometimes the food was fine, I just didn't feel like it. But apparently, Angel's "not in the mood" meant compassion, and mine meant attitude. Snacks were another thing. If Angel wanted chips or cookies, Mom would say, "Go ahead, sweetheart." But if I even reached for the same thing, I'd get, "You've had enough junk, grab something healthy." So I'd end up sitting there munching on carrot sticks while she tore open a bag of Doritos. When I was younger, I told myself it was because she was the baby. Everyone says parents soften with younger kids. But it didn't stop when we got older. By middle school, the difference was obvious to everyone. My aunts would whisper about it at family gatherings. My grandparents called it out several times. They'd say things like, "You can't spoil one and neglect the other, it's not right." But my parents always brushed it off. One time, when I was 12, Angel was going to a classmate's birthday party. My mom bought her a brand new outfit, new shoes, a hair clip, everything. I had a hiking trip coming up for school and needed new boots. Mom told me to wait until Christmas and add it to my list. So I did. And at Christmas, she said the store was out of stock, but somehow, Angel got everything on her list, even things she hadn't mentioned. Speaking of Christmas, that's always been a touchy subject. Every year, Mom and Dad would make us write wish lists. Angel's pile under the tree would always tower over mine. Literally. When I was younger, I thought maybe I was imagining it, like maybe her stuff was just bigger, not more. But as I got older, I started noticing the receipts left around. The totals. The price tags. She'd get $300 worth of stuff. I'd get maybe $120, tops. And whenever anyone mentioned it, my grandparents, uncles, even my dad's own brother, my parents would say something like, "Oh, he's older, he doesn't need as much," or "We'll get him a gift card later." But that later almost never came. Then there were the rules. Angel could do no wrong. She could stay out past curfew and get a "be careful next time" lecture. I could be 7 minutes late and get grounded for a week. No exaggeration. I remember one night when I was 13, Angel came home from a friend's sleepover almost 3 hours past curfew. My parents just said, "We were worried sick, honey. Next time, text us, okay?" A week later, I was 7 minutes late from the movies because my friend's mom stopped for gas. When I walked in the door, Dad looked at the clock and said, "You're late. Hand me your phone, you're grounded for the week." I laughed at first because I thought he was kidding. He wasn't. So yeah, the favoritism wasn't hidden. Everyone saw it. Everyone except them. But everything finally came crashing down earlier this year when Angel got suspended from school. She and one of her friends thought it would be funny to clog every single girl's toilet in the building with paper towels and pads. It flooded the hallway and apparently cost a few thousand in plumbing damage. When I found out, I'll admit, I waited. I wanted to see what my parents would do. Would they finally discipline her the way they always did me? Or would they, as usual, pretend it was no big deal? Take a wild guess. They tried to brush it off. Mom said, "She's young. It was a mistake. Don't blow it out of proportion." But then, miracle of miracles, my grandparents found out. They lost it. They called my parents, sat them down, and flat out asked, "Would you let your son get away with this?" Of course, my parents stammered and made excuses, saying, "Well, she's younger," or "He's more responsible." But my grandparents didn't let up. They pressed hard. Finally, after about an hour of back and forth, my parents admitted it. They admitted they favored Angel. I remember sitting in the kitchen, hearing those words, and feeling numb. Because as much as I wanted to hear it, it didn't feel like victory. It just felt pathetic. They looked at me with these guilty eyes and said, "We're sorry. We didn't realize how unfair we were being. We'll make it up to you." At first, I didn't say anything. I just nodded. But I didn't believe them. And I was right not to. Because their attempts to make it up to me were lazy, half-assed, cosmetic fixes that didn't mean anything. For example, they started cooking dinner differently. Instead of making Angel a separate meal when she didn't like what was made, they started asking her what she wanted before cooking. So technically, she still got what she wanted. They just asked her earlier. Progress, right? Then, when I asked if I could stay out an extra hour to catch a movie with my friends, they said yes. I thought maybe things were changing. But a week later, Angel came home 3 hours late without permission. What did she get? A gentle talking to. No grounding. No phone confiscation. Nothing. I asked them straight up, would you have done the same if it were me? They hesitated, and then said no. But they didn't do anything to fix it either. Instead, they bought snacks. Like that was supposed to fix everything. They brought home a bunch of snacks for both of us. I got 2 small chocolate bars, some fruit, a bag of almonds, and crackers. Angel got chips, Oreos, candy bars, and a mountain of junk food. I remember looking at the spread on the counter and thinking, wow, they're really trying, huh? Then came Christmas. I didn't even have to snoop, they literally left their shopping list on the dining table one morning. I saw both our names with dollar amounts next to them. Next to mine, $150. Next to hers, $320. I stared at it for a full minute, my heart pounding. That's when I realized, nothing had changed. They admitted it, sure, but that didn't mean anything. You can't undo years of favoritism with an apology and a few half-hearted fixes. So I did the only thing I could. I showed my grandparents. They were furious. My grandma said, so this is how they make it up to you? They called my parents and confronted them again. My parents got defensive and said, we're trying. He knows we're trying. He said he accepted our apology. I cut in and said, no, I didn't. I said okay because I didn't want to argue. But this is pathetic. My mom said, you should understand we're doing our best. And I said, your best still sucks. That shut them up. Now, my grandparents are basically babysitting the situation because they don't trust my parents to handle things fairly. It's awkward as hell. Angel pretends not to notice anything, but she definitely knows she's the favorite. Sometimes she even rubs it in subtly, like when she'll ask mom if she can have extra money for something and then glance at me to see my reaction. I don't even hate her for it. She's a kid. She's just used to the world bending for her. What I hate is that my parents still don't get it. They think favoritism is about money or gifts. But it's not. It's about consistency. It's about knowing that the rules apply to everyone the same way. It's about feeling like you matter equally. I told them once, I don't care about being spoiled. I just want fairness. My mom said, you'll understand when you're older, we were just trying to make you more independent. And that line, independent, that's the one they always use to justify it. They'll say I'm more responsible, mature for my age, better at handling disappointment. But you know what? That's just a nice way of saying they made me grow up alone. So now they want forgiveness. They want me to appreciate their effort. But I can't. Because their effort still comes with conditions, excuses, and favoritism hidden under the surface. They keep saying I'll thank them one day for raising me differently. I won't. I'll thank myself for realizing that love shouldn't feel like a competition you never had a chance to win. So yeah, maybe I sound ungrateful. Maybe I should acknowledge they're trying. But I can't accept what feels fake. I can't pretend an apology means anything when their actions still tell me I'm less important. Am I the a-hole for not accepting my parents' half-assed apology and attempts to make things up for years of favoritism? Because honestly, I don't think I'll ever see them the same way again.